Welcome back, movie buffs. Today, we're diving into the 2018 movie, The Darkest Minds. Imagine a world where most of the population has been wiped out, and the children left behind have developed terrifying powers. What happens when these children are hunted and their abilities are exploited? Get ready for a roller coaster of suspense, mystery, and heart-pounding action. But before we dive into the details, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a thrilling recap like this. Let's get started. The film starts in a school where kids are having lunch. Suddenly, one little girl's eyes turn blue, and she gains superpowers. But in the blink of an eye, she collapses and dies. The news reports that a terrible disease is killing children, and it's spreading fast. It only affects kids, not adults. As a result, 98% of children and teens die, while the 2% who survive become different, developing dangerous abilities. The government urges parents to send their surviving children to a special camp for treatment. Meanwhile, the American president, President Gray, announces that his son, Clancy, survived the disease and is improving at the camp. Later, Ruby celebrates her birthday with her parents, who are worried because she's the only child left alive. That night, Ruby tries to comfort her mother, but when she holds her hand, she experiences a strange vision. The next morning, things take a turn. Unknown to Ruby, she accidentally wiped her mother's mind, so the mom no longer recognizes Ruby as her daughter. The mom, terrified, calls the government to have her taken to the healing camp. Ruby, along with other children, is sent there. At the camp, each child is examined by a doctor to figure out what kind of abilities they have. Ruby is called in for her exam, where the doctor explains that there are 5 categories based on their powers. The first group is green, children whose intelligence has increased. The second is blue, for those with telekinetic abilities. The third group is gold, for those who can control electricity. These first 3 groups are considered safe and are only treated at the camp. The fourth group is red, for those who can control fire, and the fifth group is orange, the most dangerous, for those who can manipulate people's minds. The red and orange groups are very rare and are considered a threat by the government, which orders them to be killed on the spot. Ruby is identified as orange, which means she's considered the most dangerous, and the doctor prepares to inject her with a lethal dose. But Ruby acts quickly, using her abilities to convince him she's actually green, not dangerous. So she's sent to the green camp instead. At the camp, there are 3 groups, green, blue, and gold, but there are no red or orange groups as they are all killed immediately. Ruby lives in the camp as a green. 6 years pass and Ruby, who now works at the camp, is scolded by the camp captain for making a mistake. The captain thinks Ruby is slower than the others and starts to grow suspicious. However, one of Ruby's campmates defends her, insulting the captain in the process. This only makes the captain more furious and he takes her away for punishment. The children in the camp are treated terribly. Later, the camp regularly conducts frequency tests, which involve very loud sounds only the children can hear. During one of these tests, Ruby faints and is taken to a doctor named Dr. Kate for further examination. Dr. Kate discovers that Ruby is actually orange. She secretly writes a note to Ruby, warning her that they've found out she's an orange and will kill her immediately. Dr. Kate tells Ruby to meet her in the boiler room. In a panic, Ruby rushes there where Dr. Kate is waiting. Just as the alarm goes off and the officers are instructed to find Ruby, Dr. Kate helps her escape using her car. However, when they reach the checkpoint, Ruby is almost caught. Using her powers, Ruby controls the officer's mind, allowing them to escape. After 6 years, Ruby finally manages to escape from the camp. As they drive, Dr. Kate gives Ruby a panic button, which can be used as a tracker if she's in danger. Kate explains that she's part of the Children's League, a group dedicated to rescuing children from the camp and fighting the government. Kate takes Ruby to a gas station to meet her boyfriend, Rob, who is also involved in rescuing children. However, when Ruby almost falls and holds Rob's hand, she gets a vision of him that makes her suspicious. She sees hints that he might be involved in abusing children. Ruby begins to doubt their intentions. After changing clothes in a shop, Ruby spots a young girl who can manipulate electricity. The girl runs away when she sees Ruby, and Ruby chases after her. The girl, named Zoo, gets into a van and Ruby follows, hiding from Dr. Kate. Zoo, a mutant who always wears gloves because of her powers, is with 2 friends. Liam, a blue with telekinesis, and Charles, a green who is highly intelligent. They agree to join Ruby and help her escape from Kate. On their journey, they're pursued by a woman named Lady Jane, a bounty hunter hired to catch children. As they run, Kate also tries to track them down. However, Liam uses his telekinesis to slow their pursuers by scattering leaves, cracking the road and knocking over trees, giving them a chance to escape. After escaping, the group starts to bond, but Ruby keeps her identity as an orange a secret, claiming she's a green instead. Liam explains that they're heading down the East River to find a group of children led by someone mysterious, known as the Slip Kid. Although they don't know the Slip Kid's true identity, it seems like he's also an orange who can control minds. Liam also shares that the Children's League, led by Dr. Kate, isn't a safe place. He used to be part of it, where they train kids to use their powers to fight the government. But Liam didn't agree with that path and eventually left the League. That night, Ruby and the others stayed at an inn. Ruby reflects on her past with her parents. It's revealed that she couldn't control her powers as a child and accidentally wiped her parents' memories of her. While they're sleeping, Ruby accidentally touches Zoo's hand and has a vision. She sees that Zoo was once in a government camp, but she and hundreds of other children rebelled and escaped, with Liam leading the rebellion. Due to the trauma she faced at the camp, Zoo became mute. The next morning, they visit an abandoned mall to shop for supplies, enjoying their time together since they had the time to enjoy their childhood. But suddenly, their bodies are lifted and controlled by a group of people. Fortunately, Zoo uses her electric powers to fight back. It turns out the attackers are just a group of children living at the mall, also with telekinesis abilities. Later that night, they talk about the secretive group at the East River. The children from the mall know where the East River is, but they can't share the exact location since it's a closely guarded secret. Ruby secretly uses her telepathic powers to make one of the children reveal a clue about the location, EDO. Later that night, Charles, the genius of the group, tries to figure out what EDO means but finds nothing. However, after a conversation with Ruby about her father being a cop, Charles has a breakthrough and realizes that EDO might be a radio frequency. He deduces that E stands for 5, D for 4, and O for 0, so he tries the frequency 540. To their surprise, they get a message and the location turns out to be Lake Prince, Virginia. The next day, Ruby visits her old home and has a vision of her parents. She remembers the gift they gave her and she's overwhelmed with emotion. On their way to the bus, Lady Jane ambushes them, using the sound frequency from her rifle to incapacitate the children. Luckily, Ruby uses her powers to take control of Lady Jane's mind and gives Jane a deserving punishment, forcing her to walk endlessly without stopping. Liam and the others are stunned to discover Ruby is actually an orange. Ruby admits she lied to them because she wasn't proud of her abilities. Later on, Ruby opens up to Liam about her past, and they begin to fall in love. Finally, they continue their journey to Lake Prince, Virginia, where they meet other children like them. They're amazed to see so many children in one place, as it's been so long since they've encountered others. They also meet the Slip Kid, and it's revealed that he's actually the president's son. Clancy Gray, like Ruby, is an orange. One night, they have a party and Liam and Ruby share a romantic dance. The next morning, they're given tasks and Ruby is assigned to help Clancy. Clancy tells Ruby he was one of the first to survive the deadly disease. The government experimented on him to develop a cure, but the doctor failed. To cover it up, his father, the president, lied to the public, claiming they had found the cure. Clancy eventually escaped and formed a safe haven for children. Clancy teaches Ruby how to control her power, helping her to influence people's minds without touching them, and Ruby succeeds. In return, Ruby teaches Clancy how to erase people's memories. But during the process, Clancy tries to kiss her, controlling her mind. Distressed, Ruby pushes him away and leaves. Ruby finds out that Clancy is up to no good, and her friends decide to leave, but while on the run, they're ambushed by troops from the camp. Liam tries to fight back but suddenly passes out. It turns out Clancy had made him unconscious. It's revealed that Clancy has been orchestrating everything from the start. He had contacted the camp captain to arrest all the children and had been manipulating his father and the government using his power. His ultimate goal is to create an army of children with powers so he will never be abused again. Ruby uses her powers to make the camp captain take his own life, and Zoo uses her electrical abilities to help them escape. Just then, armed forces arrive with helicopters to capture the children. The troops bring in children from the Red Group, those who can control fire. It turns out the government has secretly weaponized them and they set the camp on fire. A battle erupts. The Red Army tries to burn Liam and his friends, but Liam fights back with his powers. Just then Clancy steps in and takes control of all the soldiers' minds. Liam and the others are forced to flee, leaving Ruby behind because she is the only one with the power to face Clancy. Ruby summons her own army using her ability, but Clancy, in his cruelty, forces the soldiers to turn their powers on each other, making them kill themselves. Clancy then tries to use his new power to erase Ruby's memories and make her forget about her friends, but Ruby fights back. She controls the mind of the helicopter pilot, causing the helicopter to crash and explode, killing Clancy. Ruby escapes the explosion with Charles's help, but he is badly burned and severely injured. With no other choice, Ruby activates her panic button to call the Children's League for help. The next morning, the League arrives to rescue them. However, Liam is arrested by the League for betraying them in the past. They consider him too dangerous, knowing too much about the League, and he cannot be allowed to go free. Ruby meets with Kate and strikes a deal. She agrees to join the League and fight against the government in exchange for Liam's release. However, Kate believes Liam will never leave without Ruby, and he won't allow her to join the League. Ruby finally meets Liam, who expresses his desire for them to stay together and plan their future. But Ruby, torn by the situation, makes the painful decision to erase herself from Liam's memory so he can be freed, and so she can join the Children's League. All their shared memories vanish from Liam's mind. Liam walks away, not remembering Ruby at all, and Ruby is left heartbroken as she watches him go. In the final moments, Charles is seen receiving treatment at the hospital, and Zoo is adopted by a loving family. Ruby begins her training with the Children's League, ready to fight for the cause. That's a wrap on our breakdown of The Darkest Minds. What do you think about this movie? Drop your thoughts and reactions in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss one of our thrilling movie analyses and deep dives. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay tuned for more edge of your seat content.